Hello, my name is Eric Little and I'm a certified public accountant. When people come to me wanting to start a new business, they ask me if they should form an LLC or corporation. And so I'd like to talk a little bit today about the differences between the two from a tax and accounting standpoint. An LLC, or a limited liability company, offers the same limited liability protection as a corporation, but for a lot of small business owners, it's a lot easier to manage an LLC than it is a corporation. Starters, an LLC doesn't have a lot of the sophisticated compliance issues that a corporation does. With an LLC, you also have more tax options when filing your tax return. In the eyes of the IRS, an LLC is actually considered a disregarded entity, which means it doesn't really exist. And so when you file your tax return, if you're a single member LLC or one person who owns your LLC, you automatically default as a sole proprietor. And so you would file the LLC's income and expenses on your individual income tax return. And so there's less cost for filing an additional return and less compliance with that. If you're a multi-member LLC or more than one owner, then you'll file a partnership return. Now you can also, with your LLC, file an S corporation return or a C corporation return as well. Next, with a corporation, you really only have two options of filing a tax return. First, you have a C corporation, which is also known as a double taxed entity, and also there's an S corporation, which is a pass-through entity, so all of your income and expenses pass down from the corporate entity down to the owners or shareholders. With the C corporation being a double taxed entity, you're not only paying income taxes, but when the dividends are distributed down to the shareholders, they're also being taxed a second time. Now with an S corporation, as all the income expenses pass down to the shareholders or owners, it's only taxed once, and it's also taxed at the individual income tax rates, which are much lower than the corporate tax rates. A lot of times when people come to me to start new businesses, I recommend forming an LLC for tax and accounting purposes. A lot of times people who form these companies don't have a lot of capital, and so they need to start small. And so by having the LLC, they can file their tax returns on their individual tax return and not have to worry about the additional compliance of the corporations. And so while they grow, they can elect to be treated as an S corporation and take tax advantages of the S corporation itself. But in order to know what really applies to them, someone really needs to consult with a good attorney and a good certified public accountant.